Now, the A7 obviously slots between the A6 and the A8 in Audi's line, but it's a very distinctive model, known for its 4 doors, coupe roofline, and huge hatchback. Let's drive the 2012 Audi A7 and, of course, check the tech. Audi's sleek A7 has been a bona fide hit since it joined the 4-door coupe battle, but that is still a battle in the larger war of car making, still a niche. Bear in mind, none of the cars in this class have the same rear passenger comfort as a sedan sibling, partly thanks to the sloping roofline that tends to require the rear seat location be pushed forward. Audi may have the most cohesively impressive cabin tech in the biz right now. One example is how this car can span the task of navigation across the instrument panel screen on over to the center stack screen, creating what could be the most powerful navigation control center out there. Now, BMW might argue that Audi has to do that since their main screen isn't really wide. But Audi can counter nicely with their cutting-edge use of Google Earth imagery, downloaded on the fly. I find it more useful than the 3D building renderings most of the industry is pursuing. Google is also present in this car in the form of live search, a great way to power navigation. And connectivity is via a dedicated SIM in the dash and its own cellular radio, not relying on smartphone tethering. Voice command is nowhere near as good as your Android phone, but that's par for the course across the car industry.
235 2nd Street, San Francisco, California.
35 2nd Street, San Francisco, California has been accepted.
Audi's unique touchpad lets you finger paint input, and I often find it more satisfying than voice, but to a degree. And I'm still getting used to Audi's 4-corner buttons that map to far-flung corners on the screen. I guess after 5 years, we'll just have to agree not to love each other. Our A7's 3-liter V6 is supercharged, so force-fed by a belt-driven pump rather than from an exhaust path flowing over an impeller, which would be a turbo. Tomato, tomato, except that the Audi's response feels faster on throttle than most of the turbo cars in its class. That's a traditional hallmark of superchargers, but they do introduce some parasitic drag on the engine. The numbers are 310 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 is in 5.4 seconds for this 4,200-pound car, and the MPG isn't bad at 1828, at least that's the stated MPG. All A7s have an 8-speed automatic with paddles and standard quattro all-wheel drive. That's a big deal. Audi chooses to make that standard, while things like navigation, rear cam and sensors, and steerable front headlights are optional. One of the first things you notice about driving this supercharged engine is that it's a supercharger. There is really no perceptible delay in that onrush of power, and it's a big boost when you get it. There's also this all-wheel drive. All 4 paws are gripping. Once you get the feel of that, and Audi's Quattro is the best, you realize this car really knows how to vector itself in around corners. That is part of the logic of its drivetrain. Incredibly smooth motor, almost a little light on throat, at least in the cabin, but that's just an aesthetic thing. There's also a little bit of kind of drumming and thrumming of the chassis. I noticed driving the BMW 640i recently, it seemed to be more of an ingot of metal. I'm getting a little bit of the sound of parts moving in the undercarriage, which is not my favorite sound. But I don't believe that this car is built to be pressed as hard as a BMW of similar caliber. It also tends to do everyday driving a little more refinedly, I think. It's no slouch, but to me it's more of a civilized car than an equivalent BMW. Okay, let's price this Audi A7. With all-wheel drive and the supercharged motor, that's the only way they come, 60 grand. Kind of a value, but not fully set up CNET style till you add $3,600 for Premium Plus. That's going to add the Google Earth navigation system, Audi Connect services, all those parking sensors, rear view camera, and a lot more stuff that you are going to want.